Stars and Strikes on WNDS-TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Moore, and we saw some great bowling last week.
Yeah, Jon Winchell right off the bat, $625 with the triple strike jackpot plus a whole slew of other money. So it doesn't get easier, though, as you climb up. The bowlers get better and better.
Jon Winchell winning last week by a score of 443 to 391 over Dave Hodge, on his way to an $825 payday and advancing in the Tournament of Champions to take on Rich Lotti this afternoon. Let's meet our bowlers, round 2 of the Tournament of Champions. Last week's winner from Kingston, New Hampshire, we welcome Jon Winchell.
Winner in week 1, as you mentioned, a 130 average. His high single is 187. High triple, 467, recently bowled that. And his bowling centers include Exeter, Leo's, and Park Place in Wyndham.
And last week, a 443, $50 for having the high string in the match, $150 in bonus money, and $625 for hitting the triple strike jackpot. He moves up the ladder to take on our number 4 seed from Stoneham, Massachusetts. Say hello to Rich Lotti.
Rich Lotti in the Tournament of Champions this year, coming in with an average of 121. High single is 204, his high triple 471, and Rich does his bowling at Lanes and Games in Cambridge.
It's Jon Winchell and Rich Lotti, round 2 of the Tournament of Champions. Right after this on WNDS-TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We're coming right back. We began with 6. We're down to 5 after last week's win by Jon Winchell over Dave Hodge, setting up today's round 2 of the Tournament of Champions, with Winchell taking on Rich Lotti, with Jeff Surrett, Gary Carrington, and Sean Baker waiting in the wings, and we're ready to go. This afternoon, Jon Winchell will be first to bowl at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's the Tournament of Champions on WNDS-TV.
Big 443 for Jon Winchell last week, 175, 138, and 130. And he's setting up for an easier spare now because of some extra wood in the 3, 9, 10 on lane 34.
During the course of the match, we'll try to get to as many of the cards and emails that we received since the last taping. He thought he was going to get it, thought he threw a good ball, and it didn't happen. And that'll be a 9 box. He thought he had that pin a couple of times.
As did we. It's a $525 triple strike jackpot this week. Young Mr. Winchell hit it for $625 last week. It got reset to $500. Now the week after, it's up to $525 for 3 strikes in a row, of course. Half Worcester punched out on the right side on lane 33.
Mike, we get some interesting mail. This is one that we haven't had before. This is from Beatrice Rollins from Lunenburg, Massachusetts, and she writes she watches the show all the time, and she gets a lot of enjoyment out of the show. She watches it on Sunday and the reruns. She bowled for many years, and she found a new relative from the show.
Get out of here.
Steve Vadney from Claremont.
I'll be darned.
He's the son of her cousin Herbert. Her maiden name is Vadney. So they contacted each other and they got together through the show. Isn't that something?
What's our finder's fee for that, by the way?
Always happy to help, B. Thank you very much. B. Rollins from Lunenburg, Massachusetts.
Wow. Our first look at Rich Lotti today leaves a split right off the bat. He has the inverted triangle. I got a little history lesson from Frank Carrington, Gary Carrington's father, that I would like to share here when we have a moment, about a game called High-Low Jack, which I know a lot of bowlers, especially the older generation, are aware of.
Well, we remember the High-Low Jackpot from the old Channel 5 show.
Of course, that is kind of a variation of what it was preceded by, and that is a game called High-Low Jack, where you could bowl an actual string, and every frame you have the 1, 7, and 10 set up. If you get 1 pin, you get a point. If you get 2, you get 2. And if you get 8, you get an extra point. So there's a whole way of setting it up and scoring it, but it's a game that's been played for many years by some of the old-timers. I don't know that anybody does it nowadays, but there is an actual game, High-Low Jack, with a certain scoring system to it.
Never saw it before. Rich Lotti with a mark, and Jon Winchell with a strike. So Jon responds. Watch it again. He buried it that time. The 4-pin, the last to go. Jon moves over to lane 33. A little thin on the head pin, but he got some pretty good action on the shot.
And there's a mirror configuration of what he had in the first box, although it was on the other side. This one is the 2-7-8. Instead, he had the 3-9-10, but he has no wood to help him like he did last time.
The sleeper pin behind was the pin that spoiled it. And a 10 box for Jon. Bud Jacklin from, where's Bud from? It's an email. Does he say where he's from? From Salem. Just finished watching the first match of the final ladder, nail biting. I have a reliable source who told me who won the championship of that ladder. Well, we know who won the championship of the ladder now, but Bud Jacklin says he bets the Tournament of Champions is going to be, in Gary Carrington's words, awesome. Thanks for a great year. Bud Jacklin, thank you for making it a great year. We have a terrific, loyal following.
Rich Lotti is at 34 years old, been bowling for 26 years as he picks up a 10. Made it to the show by defeating number 2 seed Anthony Pastore, or he was the number 2 seed, beating Anthony Pastore, who was the top seed, 402 to 368, back in December to get him on today's show.
Hank Robichaud writes in, I'd like to tell you about the above-mentioned bowling league. They meet every Monday and Thursday at the Putnam Bowling Lanes in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. The league consists of about 55 members who average 75 years young. It is run by a very good bowler who is 97 years old and well known among bowling circles. His name is George Fava. I hope I'm saying it correctly, Fava or Fava. I'm sure some of the old-timers will know him well. They're finishing their 55th season with a league average of just over 100. How's that for a bunch of veterans? Hank, thanks very much for letting us know about the league at Putnam Bowling Lanes in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and keep on bowling.
So the average age is 75, and these guys are averaging 100?
That's pretty good.
Wow. Nasty leave there for Jon Winchell, who just punched out the 1 and the 8. And once again, he's got the 3, 9, 10. Second time he's looked at those 3 pins.
And he picks up 2 of them, a 9 box.
Well, he had 175, Dick, last week to start things off. Got to go some to get that this week.
I want to see if we can get a shot. Not sure if we'll be able to with the pin sweepers at Leda Lanes, and they've painted the tubes very patriotic, red, white, and blue. Missed the spare.
Well, it's a great facility. Leda Lanes on Amherst Street, Route 101A in Nashua. 36-lane establishment. Back-to-back lanes, 18 on each side. Terrific junior program. If you live in southern New Hampshire, you might consider joining a league or even a little open bowling here as the summer months approach.
And we were all saddened to see the demise of hub bowling in Manchester.
Yes.
It had been dark for a little while, but during the heavy rains of a while back, the roof collapsed, the building totally demolished. Hope they were able to save some of the equipment or some of the memorabilia that might have been
question.
inside.
I walked by it the next day because I live pretty close to there, and boy, I tell you, it looked like it was hit by a bomb. Just amazing.
So Rich just puts 2 in his mark.
Still gives him a 5-pin lead through 4 complete frames.
I had some of my worst bowling at Hub Lanes.
Did you really? Speaking of our bowling, frames 3 and 4 of our grudge match from Haver Lanes, Pilgrim Lanes and Haver will be shown at the start of the 2nd string today.
Yeah, we were tied at 17 after 2 boxes.
That's right.
Really had set the world on fire, both of us, in those first 2 frames.
It really is painful to watch ourselves. Why do we subject ourselves to this every year, Tim?
Rich Lotti on the head pin.
Why do we subject our viewers to this?
They're gluttons for punishment, I guess.
Apparently they are. If it wasn't for the kids at Pilgrim Lanes, we wouldn't be doing this.
Oh, Rich missed again.
It's going to be almost a dead even match through 6. And it is at 61 apiece through 6. With not many smudges on the score sheet. Although now in this computer era, I guess you don't call them smudges like you used to in the old days when you used grease pencils or even lead pencils to keep score.
Got an email here that'll be of interest to the crew. It's a very simple one-line email. It says, the production of the show has improved a great deal. Signed, Kevin LaFont. No, it wasn't signed by Kevin. Kevin's our director. Here's this. The mark from Jon Winchell. Actually, it was signed by Roy Rutainen from Southbridge, Massachusetts. Mr. Rutainen, thank you very much for noticing that our crew does a great job week in and week out on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. And a lot of that credit goes to our director, Kevin LaFont, who's here each and every week, putting it all together.
Wow, chopped the 2 middle pins out of the 4 horsemen, took out the 2 and the 4, leaving the 1 and the 7. Both bowlers having some struggle is here early in the going.
And an 8 box. Well, he had a 175 first string last week. He will not have a 175 in the first string this week.
He threw 5 strikes, 4 strikes. Nope, not even room for that. Best he can do is 145 with 4 strikes.
Rich Lotti a little thin in the head pin, but they're all going to go.
What the heck was that?
That's your basic slow motion strike. We'll watch it again if we have enough time.
That was one of the funniest strikes I've ever seen.
Very thin hit, 5 pins still standing initially, and then they all caved in. Rich on the strike. That's a good ball. You can see that one as it was heading to the head pin. That one went a little quicker than the last one. So he's got 2. He's looking for $525 when we come back, when Rich comes back to the line. Jon Winchell threw that one past the head pins. Half Worcester left side.
Missing the object pin, leaving the 1 and the 4. Some wood against the 4 pin. Struggling to hit 100 this game for Jon Winchell after a stunning 443 big triple over Dave Hodge last week to advance to the 2nd round of a 5-week tournament. It's the 2, 7, and the 10, and there's no wood. This has got to be perfectly placed.
Nope. He tried to slide the 2 pin over to the 10 and have the ball take out the 7, but he came up empty. And a 9 box to finish off with a 104. So he'll be trailing in the first ring as he led after the first ring last week. Rich Lotti, this is a $525 shot right here. Look at this. Look at this. 1 pin from $525. Now the wood surrounds it. Makes it that much more difficult for $50. $50 shot here. Look at this.
Capped it and the ball deflected and the pin never went back to take out the standing pin.
He has to settle for a 10 box. That's a shame. Not only did he not get the triple strike, he didn't even get $50 in bonus money. He's at 119 after 9. Leads by 15 pins plus whatever he gets in this box. It's a tough shot.
Try to go right up the middle and get a piece of that pin in front of the 6. Didn't happen.
125. 126 for Rich Lotti in the first string, and a 22-pin lead over Jon Winchell. We're headed to string number 2 when we come back to Leda Lanes for Candlepin Stars and Strikes. The Tournament of Champions continues on WNDS TV. Well, last week you saw the first 2 boxes of our head-to-head match. We were tied at 17 after 2. Mike had a 9 box to go to 26.
Why do I look like I'm bowling in slow motion? Did I really throw the ball that slowly?
This is real time. You get nice form, though.
Yeah, how many points do I get for form?
7 box. And a 33 after 4.
All right, we can stop now.
So this is for a spare. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. How good was that? Man, oh, man.
You're killing me, Dick. You're just killing me.
That was a spare, so I take the lead there.
Yep.
And I think this is for another spare right here, isn't it? No, this is for a strike, maybe? No, that was for a spare. All right, I almost got the spare. Put a 9 in the spare. Can I pick up the single pin spare here to really take the lead? Is that possible? Right on that pin. Huh? How about that? 2 marks in a row to take the lead. And I'm well in control after 4 boxes. We'll play 2 more next week as our head-to-head match continues. You ready to surrender? Huh? Are you? Let's get going. Here we go. Rich Lotti ready to bowl to start string number 2 at Leda Lanes in Nashua. Rich with a 126 in the first string to a 104 for Jon Winchell. And Rich, will it go? 5-pin stands.
We were up at Pilgrim Lanes, by the way, to help raise some money for the kids who went off to Canada for the 2004 Atlantic Coast Junior Classic.
Can't talk enough about that event. I just am so impressed with that event year after year, and the enthusiasm of the kids, and the pro bowlers who come, Bart Medeiros, who puts it all together along with the staff at Pilgrim Lanes.
The Angelotti family, just opens up the bowling center at no cost to the bowlers, and we had a full house this year. In the stands, about 24 professional bowlers. You and I emceed a good number of the events. And our annual grudge match, this year they had people wagering on who would win, so they raised some extra money.
And Steve Reno did a great job as the commentator on our head-to-head match.
Who would have guessed? I never would have guessed he was such a shy young man.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, he
came out of his shell that day, didn't he?
He did. He runs a bowling show, of course, on cable out in the Central Mass area that a lot of you folks can't see, but maybe some of you can. It's a kids bowling show. He's worked really hard. Nothing in it for him. He just loves the game, and that's why Candlepin is such a great game, is people that just love bowling.
Rich with a 9 box. You have to love enthusiasm displayed by a guy like Steve Reno. So many of the guys, they just love the game so much, and it means so much to them. Jon Winchell on lane 34. I don't know that we've mentioned this afternoon. We did last week. You will see John's wife in the background. You don't see her there. She's to the left, just off screen, expecting their child any minute.
Due on April the 4th, as you watch this.
Oh, nice shot. Shots like that could speed up the delivery.
As you watch this for the first time, it's April 18th, but she was due on the 4th, so between when we taped and when you see this, perhaps they've had their child. I'm going to guess that they probably had. But there's always a possibility that we could deliver a child here during the taping session today, and gloves and towels are ready.
John on the head pin that time, a little full, and a tough shot. The 6-10 on the right, the 6 is off spot, the 7 on the left corner. Wood can go flying. There's a couple of pieces to play with. There it goes. Oh, it did fly across, but it didn't take out the 7.
You'd have made that shot, Dick.
Probably. The way I was bowling that day, I would have made anything.
What instructions or what medication were you on that day?
Just normal stuff for me, guy. Just kind of a routine day at the office. The funny thing about it is I did not practice nearly as much as I did last year.
That's the key, isn't it?
And last year, you destroyed me. Rich Lotti on lane 34. They all start caving in except for the 7-pin. And the spare for Rich.
More interesting statistics to share when we come back from the break in a moment. Some of the stats we've collected over this season of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Let you know who had the high single this year. We'll tell you who was the most frequent bowler on our show, and we'll tell you where the winners came from in terms of the seating positions.
This is a nice note sent in. We here in Chichester, New Hampshire, really enjoy your show. We watch faithfully every week. Not only are the bowlers great, but your color commentary makes the show. There are 3 of us who get together to watch every broadcast and even enjoy watching what the regulars in the audience are wearing the day of the taping. That's funny. Please keep giving the nicknames of the various splits, too, as we love the trivia. Thanks again and love the show. Mike Belanger, Lena Belanger, and Betty Bogdan from Chichester, New Hampshire. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We love having you watch the show. They bowl at Boutwell's in Concord, Dan Murphy's place.
Very good. Dan Murphy, former host. Color commentary with Doug Brown on the show up until 1997 when yours truly and Dick took over the show, and we've loved every minute of it. Jon Winchell trying to play catch-up here after being in full command last week against Dave Hodge.
A lot different bowling when you're behind.
Yes, sir. Paul Willett doing a great job on the in-house scorekeeping on the big grease board for people in the audience that can't see the monitors as well, and for the bowlers as well.
Matty Bishop from Exeter writes in, we mentioned Harry Carr in Exeter. He was Santa for many years in the parade until health failed him. Glad he's enjoying life watching bowling. That's from Matty Bishop in Exeter. Her best wishes going to Harry Carr of Exeter. And here's a nice shot by Jon Winchell for the break. For the spare as we go to the break, both bowlers working on marks when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua for the Tournament of Champions. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Rich Lotti ready to go on lane 34 as we come back from the break. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin at Leda Lanes in Nashua, week 2 of our Tournament of Champions. Our 5-week extravaganza, the 6th ladder champions getting together. Rich breaks up the split. Kevin LaFawn's our director today. Sean Holman is on replay. Alex Kalistoff is on audio. Keith Webb is our engineer. Spare for Rich Lotti.
Bonus money for the man.
$50 in bonus money. Nick Blanchette and Joe Began on the cameras. Doing yeoman's work today.
That's going to be tough to get another bonus buck out of this one. Big split with no help, no wood.
That's our first bonus money that we've given away this afternoon. Gave away a ton of it last week. Most of it to Jon Winchell. $9 for Rich Lotti. He's at 80.
Well, the high single for the year, Dick, was rolled by Sean Baker a little over a month ago, March 7th, at a 175 string. That included his 4-strike-in-a-row performance and a 451 triple.
There's a nice shot by John. Here's what. Watch it again. That one took a little time. 5 pins still standing on the left side, and they decided to fall over for the strike. Will he make it 2 in a row? The 3 pin still stands.
A shot at bonus money for Jon Winchell as well, and he needs it to catch up to Rich Lotti, who slowly has been pulling away.
He's got the spare. $50 in bonus money for Winchell.
So the high single for the year, 175. The high triple, Gary Carrington Saw it just a few weeks ago. 463. March 21st. And where do the bowlers come from in the seeding for the Tournament of Champions? Well, this year, only one top seed made it, Dick. There were 3 bowlers from the number 2 spot, 1 bowler from the 3rd position, and for the first time in 7 years, a number 4 seed.
Oh, what a great shot by Rich Lotti. The 1, 2, 6, and 10. No wood. Perfectly shot by Rich Lotti. That's not a good ball, but he got a break.
Yeah, not a fun shot, though. So it was Gary Carrington who broke the 7-year hex from the number 4 position, making it to the Tournament of Champions. And over the last 7 years, out of 43 ladders, 32 of the bowlers made it to the Tournament of Champions from the number 1 or number 2 spot. Clearly the position to be in if you hope to make it to the Tournament of Champions, statistically.
That's going to be an 8-box for Rich. Mike Sweeney from Salisbury, Mass. writes in, "Hey, Dick and Mike, I've been watching Stars and Strikes for over 13 years now and was wondering what's the highest triple strike jackpot that we've given away and who's won the most amount of bonus money in one match?" I'll take a little research, but off the top...
Off the top of my head, I believe that Gary Carrington won the highest triple strike.
Yeah, there's more money for Jon Winchell. He almost had 4 strikes in a row.
Well, it's 4 in a row, isn't it?
4 marks in a row.
Yep.
So $75 in bonus money for Jon.
So as we talk about bonus money, off the top of my mind here, $1,300 I believe Gary Carrington won. He did it in the Tournament of Champions a couple years ago, Dick, and I think he did it like on the last string, well, the last week, obviously, of the show, which means the money was maxed out at $1,300 for that season. And in one day, that's tough to say.
Jeff Surratt had a big day. I remember that.
Yeah, it's not quite $2,000. There have been some bowlers in the $1,500 to $1,800 range for a series of weeks for bonus money.
And then Jon was trying to root that pin over. Wouldn't go for him.
We actually don't keep
back into it.
I'm sorry, Dick. We actually don't keep records of the bonus money in general. If somebody hits a triple strike, we make a note of that.
$10 for Jon right there gives him 125. And we've got a pretty tight match. 1 pin separating these 2 bowlers right now. With 2 boxes remaining in the 2nd string. Doesn't get much tighter than that. Winchell trailed by 22 after 1. He has a 21 pin lead in this string.
A runner-up today earns $400.
And that's going to be an 8-box.
And who's our bowler next week, you ask?
Who's our bowler next week?
Defending Tournament of Champions winner from last year, the young phenom Jeff Surratt.
That's a great shot by Rich, and the 5-pin didn't move an inch. Piece of wood right in front. That's not a good piece of wood. He capped the wood. Will he get it on the rebound? No. Tough shot for Rich Lotti. Tough break for Rich Lotti. That'll be a 10-box and a 122 second string for Rich, with a 126 first string, 248 after 2.
Well, Jon just needs 20 pins to take the lead in this match in the 9th and 10th boxes.
And he's got a spare opportunity here. Linda and Reginald Carroll write in. I want to know about lobbing the ball. Do they still have a line judge that sits on the line and calls lobs? We watch bowling on WNDS and haven't heard any lobs called. We've talked about that before as Jon makes the spare.
Not needed, my opinion. The bowlers are so good. Very few of them ever lob. Once in a great while we'll see one, and the bowlers will call each other on it.
What was the lob judge's name on the old
Ralph Stewart.
Ralph Stewart.
With his Argyle socks. Yeah. Kind of a cult figure in the world of Candlepin bowling.
It's a name I should remember and I always forget. Ralph Stewart.
But, you know, honestly, you just don't need it. Yeah, it was fun to have Ralph out there and applaud him every week. Good guy.
Watch it. Will it go? Oh, look at that spare for Jon Winchell.
And he has taken the lead into game number 3.
Back-to-back spares in the 9th and the 10th. Watch this. Doesn't look like it has a chance, does it? There it goes. That pin rolls into it to wipe it out. You can never turn your back on candlepins. They do strange things. And he finishes with a 6 in the mark and a 157 second string. A 13-pin lead now for Jon Winchell over Rich Lotti, headed to string number 3, round 2. The Tournament of Champions continues from Leda Lanes in Nashua on WNDS TV. Jon Winchell will bowl first in the 3rd string. He has a 13-pin lead over Rich Lotti. As we head to the final string, it's our 2nd week of the Tournament of Champions. WNDS TV.
Caught a nice break there, although he would like to have had the 6-pin go down as well. Jon Winchell enjoys playing basketball, a little rollerblading, and collects sports memorabilia as well. Has a Michael Jordan action figure from the Space Jam movie. Remember that one? 9-10 years ago. Things to pass on to his soon-to-be-born child.
You've seen our first 4 boxes in our head-to-head grudge match, and you know how bad both Michael and I bowl typically. This is going to make you feel. We have a note sent in here. This is Joyce Letourneau from Uxbridge, Massachusetts, Mike. And she sent in a score sheet for 3 strings from her 11-year-old daughter.
Oh, look at that.
A 313 triple.
Including
a 124 string.
In the middle string, she started with 3 strikes in a row.
How about that?
She available to give me
That's
lessons?
from Laura. And Laura and their family have been bowling at Spare Time Lanes in Whitensville for years.
And you know what? They're still keeping score the old-fashioned way on paper, although I don't know if they have electronic scoring there. They do have a paper sheet they sent us. You don't see that much anymore.
No, that's really, really impressive.
Congratulations. Nicely done, Laura.
Laura's been on a team since she was 5, and even though she's now in college, she still bowls in a league on Thursdays, but she bowled this when she was 11 years old.
Okay. That would explain then the paper sheet, probably.
Yeah. Love your show. Keep up the good work. Joyce Letourneau of Uxbridge, Massachusetts. Thank you very much. Great to hear from you, and keep on bowling, Laura.
A lot of times kids go off to college and bowling kind of falls by the wayside, and then later in life, of course, Dick, they rediscover it again.
Oh, Rich Lotti with a great first ball. Watch it again. Rich right in the 1-3 pocket. The 7-pin, the last to be convinced. Another good first ball. The 5, 8, and 9.
Bill just kind of deflected. The ball deflected off to the right after hitting in the pocket pretty nicely, but the ball was already kind of flaring off from left to right.
Ooh! You thought for sure he had it when it left his hand.
I'd like to have had it because he was down 13 pins going into the 3rd game.
He's picked up 9 of them. He's picked up more than that.
Yeah,
he's picked up 13. We're tied. This match is dead even with 8 boxes to go. Right on the head pin, right through. A spread eagle for Jon Winchell.
Last week, 443 for Winchell over Dave Hodge, including a 175 string, which included a triple strike for $625. This week, we're at $525 for 3-bagger.
$6 for Jon. Can't afford many of those. He's had 2 in a row. Look at this.
Wow. See, that would have gone last week. That's the difference week to week. A hit like that would have been a strike probably.
Was Dave Hodge calling that grandma's teeth?
Yes.
Got the 7, 8, and 10. A couple of pieces of wood that could help out. Got a shot at it. Oh! Ginny Morrison writes in, watched the match today between Anderson and Carrington. We remember that one. The ending was unbelievable. A 9-box. I was sort of rooting for Anderson because he bowled at Olindes, which is where the team I was formerly part of bowls. But I also wanted Carrington to win because he lost the last time. Anyhow, it was a great match, and it was a great match. Gary Carrington made an unbelievable shot at the end of the match to win it.
Now, Carrington is no stranger to the Tournament of Champions. He's won it a couple of times. He's nicely positioned in the number 2 seed. And you'll see him 2 weeks from today. Gary Carrington.
Ooh. Capped the wood, which is not what he wanted to do, so he will be open. It's a 9-box. A 3-pin lead now for Rich Lotti, box to box. And he's up against another open frame. Right on the head pin, and look at this. The 4-7 on the left, the 6-10 on the right, both with wood in front.
And why it's called the double pinochle, I don't know, but that's the name of it in 10-pin.
Open frame for Rich Lotti in the 4th. We have a very tight match. $10. We go to the break. It's a 4-pin lead for Rich Lotti over Jon Winchell as we continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
We're with an old friend who left us. Well, not literally, but I mean, he went down to Florida a couple. Well, no, you're still with us. 85-year-old Bill Muldoon, looking great. Oh, 86. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, your old fans are happy that you're here. We've missed you. How's life in Florida?
Terrific, really. I really like it. I didn't think I'd like the heat and anything, but we're adapting to that, and it's really good.
But
a lot better than snow.
The question is, how do you get along without Candlepin bowling down in Florida?
Oh, Sonny sends me all the tape-ins. I have 4 shows now, and he taped the last.
You know, that's illegal. We could throw you in jail.
Nobody else can hear us but you and me.
Well, welcome back. We're glad to see you. Hope you come back for one of the tapings. You see that Bill Muldoon, a longtime fan of Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Thank you. Nice to talk.
Back to you,
All
Dave.
right, Michael, thank you very much. Nice to see Bill back with us at Leda Lanes. We missed him during the course of the 2003-2004 season. One of our regulars and loyal followers of Candlepin bowling. Now Jon Winchell with 6 boxes remaining. A 4-pin lead for Rich Lotti over Jon Winchell. Good first ball for Jon and a strike. On lane 33, looking for 2 in a row. That one was off the head pin. Still with another ball to fill the strike. Nice to see Bill Muldoon back.
Terrific guy.
Good shot. Will it go? No, 9 in the spare.
Didn't mean to shortchange him by a year in his age there. You know, when you get to that age, you earn every counts. You bet. Even at our age in the 50s here.
10 bucks.
That's quite a life change, though, to live most of your life up here and then to, you know, be far from family and friends.
He told me when I walked in this morning, he said he really missed the monthly tapings. He missed, there's so many friends that are made here, and people see each other every month, and they just look forward to it. I asked this morning before we started taping, who was the first one here this morning, what time, and a lady raised her hand and said she was here at 5:30 this morning. 5:30.
And we began
around 9:30, quarter to 10. So Rich Lotti will be open with a 9 box.
Well, this will be the last taping for the current season. You'll get some of the highlights of the past year. We'll put together the best package we can, including the entire Tournament of Champions, the mixed doubles. You'll get to see all that in its entirety. And during the course of the summer,
as a strike by Rich Lotti.
You will also get to see some of the higher scoring matches and the ones that had the better finishes. So
yeah, virtually even with 4 boxes remaining.
All to see who bowls Jeff Surratt next week.
John off target a little bit, caught the head pin a little thin going to the Brooklyn side. Nope, not going to happen. Nine box for John. John finds himself in a situation where he needs a mark right now.
He's got the high string of the day at 157. That's worth a $50 bonus check. $2,000 the top prize at the end of our 5-week tournament. Right now, your top seed is Sean Baker.
Little thin on the head pin that time. Tough shot here. 2, 4, 5, 7, 10. No wood to help out. He sprayed him a little bit, but didn't get the spare. A couple of open frames. Just one mark in the string for Jon Winchell.
And Rich Lotti sits on a strike, putting him in a commanding position now.
And a 9 box for John. Well, Rich Lotti is down 6 pins minus what he makes on the strike, what he fills in on the strike. And then the next 2 boxes, he's up against open frames. 7, maybe 8. Nope, 7. So he takes the lead.
And that's a huge break that one pin went down.
Missed it. Knew it. You could hear him groan when the ball left his hand.
Didn't take advantage of that split breakup, and now he'll have to keep his nose to the grindstone.
And that'll be a 9 box. He's up 3 pins. Box to box, he's up 3.
Not a pretty shot. It's a high-low jack with the 9-pin tossed in.
Ooh! Sent the head pin around the 7-pin and got nothing else. Things are getting interesting.
So probably an 8.
Not even. It's a 7 box. Where does that put us? A 1-pin lead for Rich Lotti over Jon Winchell with 2 boxes remaining. It's a 1-pin lead.
Bowling hasn't been pretty, but it has been exciting, if there is such a thing.
It's coming down to a fantastic finish. Jon Winchell threw that one past the head pin. Half Worcester on the left side.
About 365 is going to win this today.
After what, a 438 last week?
443.
443. Look at this. Will it go? Yes, it will! Converting the half Worcester for Jon Winchell. Watch the 5-pin, if John will let us. It just got nicked. Just enough to topple it. Big spare in the 9th box for Jon Winchell. Filling the spare. He caught the head pin, breaks up the split. He had the 7-10 for a moment. Puts 9 in the spare.
Great fill, but this is a pressure shot. 1 pin to force Rich Lotti to get 2 marks as well. Assuming he gets a good fill if he makes the spare.
Missed it. Open in the 10th. Rich Lotti will not have to mark. $9, that's key. 106. Well, he will have to mark.
He does, yes.
27-pin lead. He needs a mark. Rich Lotti does need a mark.
Some really good fill. So the pressure is clearly pretty intense.
There's a good first ball. Right on the head pin. Good clutch shot by Lotti. 4-7 with some wood.
Rather not have that wood, though, I don't think, Dick.
I think I disagree with you. I think the wood is good. There it is, the spare.
A 9 fill and a 9 out wins it.
He has to be +7 to not need another mark. He's going to need another mark.
He's in trouble now. Yes, he has to make this. If he doesn't make the spare, he's going home.
Right.
That's why the fill was critical on this.
Got to make the shot. Not going to make it. Jon Winchell survives to live another day. And a 10 box and a 117. A 2-pin win for Jon Winchell over Rich Lotti. And Jon Winchell will climb the ladder one more time. Wow, what a finish. We'll come back to talk to our bowlers right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. In the interest of time, we're going right to the bonus ball contest. Mike will reach into the bin and pull out a card, and we'll see if we can give some money away. $80 in the jackpot. Irene Blanchard, I believe, from Derry, New Hampshire, and she wants you to get a 7. John, can you do that? Jon Winchell defeating Rich Lotti 367 to 365, and we're looking for a 7 to give away $80 in bonus money, and can't do it. It's a 2. It's a consolation prize from N&R Trophies in Winchendon, Massachusetts. We climb the ladder next week. Jon Winchell takes on number 3 seed Jeff Surrett. From Mike Moran and our entire crew, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. So long, everybody.